And for those who came last night, I hope you had a pleasant day so far. Catch up on some of your sleep, get to know the surrounds of this beautiful retreat center. And the weather was a little wet today, but in Jhana Grove Retreat Center we don't call it rain. We call it holy water. So today you've all been blessed, those of you who got wet. And this time of the year, sometimes it rains, sometimes it's sunny. So I'm sure you'll get both types of weather while you're here. But fortunately, your rooms are very comfortable. So if you are too cold, there are heaters available. Make sure that you are comfortable. So in Hong Kong, it may be Hong Kong temperature. Indonesia, you can have Jakarta temperature. Whatever you wish. And again, those who have just come from Indonesia, I do not expect you to stay up late tonight. Please get early night, have a rest, so we can start the retreat in the morning. But we have questions here. Anyone who wants to ask a question, you can write it on a piece of paper. It's put in question box, and in the evening it will be answered. And if you wish to write it in Bahasa, please write it in Bahasa and Tasfan can translate. If you want to write it in Cantonese, you can write it in Cantonese and Susan or Della will translate. Or if you want to write it in Australian, then I can translate it into English. So nice and easy. So anyway, I'll start a few questions here. And don't worry that those who've just arrived know what meditation is. That will all be explained once everybody settles in. But they have a few questions here. So the first question is, can freedom and insight happen in a person exponentially? Because sometimes it feels that way. Or is change always gradual? And of course, change is always gradual, but it can happen quite fast. But you will find things which happen fast usually fall apart fast as well. The Buddha used to say about the two types of trees. There are the trees which grow in the plain, in the flatland, in the sandy soil. They grow very fast because they can put their roots down very easily, compared to the trees which grow in the mountains. Because a tree which grows in the mountain the roots have to go through the cracks in the rock and find water and other nutriment. So trees in the mountain grow slowly. Trees in the plain, sandy soil grow fast. But when the storms come, the trees which are in the sandy soil get blown over very quickly because they've got no strong foundation. But the trees which grow up in the mountains, because their roots are locked into solid rock, it's very hard for them to be pushed over. So they grow slowly, but they last a long time. Things which grow fast usually get destroyed fast as well. So that is one of the reasons why people who eat fast food die young. Sort of. Trees which grow fast fall over fast. So it does not matter how fast or how slow it goes, because all idea of fast and slow does not really matter. As long as you are making progress, then you should be happy. As long as a tree is growing, slowly or fast, who cares? Sometimes people go in the fast stream, sometimes a slow stream, but who cares? As long as the stream reaches the goal, then it's a good stream. So, fast or slow, who cares? This is not like in the world where people are in so much of a rush. As Buddhists, we are so at ease. If you don't get enlightened in this lifetime, there's always the next lifetime. If not the next lifetime, the lifetime after that. Why are you in such a hurry? So, the people who go fast usually end up falling over and having accidents. The people who go slowly, gradually, they are the ones who usually get there in the end. So, don't worry about fast or slow. All you need to worry about, or not worry at all, is just in the present moment. What are you doing? How do you feel? And as long as you are making progress, then you know one day it's going to happen. A lot of time people ask, how much progress are we making? And the Buddha gave another simile of the great water jar, which is bigger than your height. So you cannot peek over to see how much water is there in the jar. You can't see it. All you can see is more water dripping into the jar, dripping into the jar, more water every day. And you know one day that jar is going to be full and it's going to overflow. But you don't know when that day is. And that is just like meditating, learning Dhamma, becoming more free, more insight. All you can do is put a little bit more of Dhamma into the huge jar. And you know for certain, if you keep doing that, one day the jar will overflow. You are enlightened. You don't know when that will be. And you don't know how close you are. The people from Hong Kong have been here 12 hours before you. So from Indonesia, you've got to work hard to catch up. It is not a race. This is all about just letting go, being peaceful, and then you are free. When it's said freedom and insight, what is freedom? And a long time ago I said there are two types of freedom. One is called the freedom of desire. The freedom to get what you want, when you want it, and how you want it. That is what many people think is freedom. But that is not the real freedom, because there's no end to getting what you want. You find your whole life, doesn't matter how much you want, there's always something more to get. So freedom of desire is no freedom at all. In fact, you find that desire tends to own you, not the other way around. But the second type of freedom is called the freedom from desire. So you're free from desire. You don't want anything. If you had a magic bottle and you rubbed the bottle and a genie came out and said, "Sir, you have liberated me from the bottle. I can give you 3 wishes." what would you wish for? If you understood the Dhamma, you would say, nothing. Get out of here. But if you didn't understand the freedom from desires, you would say $1 billion, beautiful wife or whatever. Because that happened. There was this man. He was 60 years of age. And he found a bottle and he rubbed the bottle. And he said, I can give you a wish. What would it be? And he said, oh, I wish I was married to someone who was 30 years younger than me. And so he suddenly became 90 instead of 60. That's not what he meant. Be careful what you want. So, if you're smart, then you don't have any wants at all. Then you are free from desires. So, those of you who are here, what do you want? That's what you're going to get. So then we are happy, content. So that's the two types of freedoms. And eventually, here you don't have TV, you can't get internet, or very difficult. There's no games to play, there's no football or table tennis, no sex, tonight you had some food in the evening, but tomorrow, you're going to starve. But you find there's nothing much here, but it's no shopping. Can't go shopping anywhere here. Then if anyone is hungry, you can't ring away for takeaway. The nearest shop is about 20 kilometers away, and they won't deliver to your cottage. So, you've got nothing to do except just to enjoy the place. And you find when you don't want anything, you start to enjoy the beauty, the simplicity of just being in a very calm, peaceful, beautiful place. So you get the understanding of what real freedom is. So this is what happens here. This is why monks live in monasteries. People think, it's terrible in your monastery. You can't do this and you can't do that. No, that's why they're called nuns. None of this, none of that, none of the other. So that's a bad joke. But there's so many things we can't do. And people say, how can you be happy when you can't do all these things? Very simple. The more desires you have, the more you are in prison. The least desires, the more you are free. So this is our freedom, the freedom from desires. And little by little, I hope, you will just be content here and realize how happy this place can be. Oh, this is a very long one. Here we go. Dear Ajahn, the best advice I got from my mother was to give without expecting anything in return. Coming from a traditional Buddhist family, we learned to give without expectations to get a tax deduction at the end. This generosity we experienced at the retreat with all those lovely people bringing dana. Hey? This is from last time. Someone hasn't been cleaning up the box. Anyway, I'll carry on reading it. This generosity we experienced at the retreat with all those lovely people bringing dana so freely with a great spirit of generosity. Brilliant Bianca, who's not here. This is the last retreat. And for eons managing these retreats, putting up with immense patience, silly ways, and most venerable Ajahn Brahm and all of the Sangha who worked tirelessly to build this exceptional center. Yes, we worked tirelessly to build this place. And one story you should know. Those sitting on this side of the meditation retreat hall, the bamboo floor which you are sitting on was laid by the monks. You were involved in that, weren't you, Venerable? No, it was afterwards, okay. Because what happened when we were building this retreat center, I was supposed to be managing it. And I asked the builder in maybe November, when is it going to be finished? And he said, January or February at the latest. And so I said, okay, I know you're going to be late, so we'll have the grand opening ceremony in April, and then have our Easter retreat following. When it came to January, is it going to be finished in February? No, in March. When it got to February, it's going to be finished in March? No, in April. When it got to April, is it going to be finished? No, in May. But we're opening in April. So they worked really hard. And most of the buildings were finished, but not the main meditation hall. Because the floor, when it came to 6 p.m., the night before the grand opening ceremony, only about half the bamboo had been laid. And the builders, they'd gone home. In 12 hours' time, or maybe 15 hours' time, the big opening ceremony, presided over by the former Premier of Western Australia, who was also the best man for Tony Blair's wedding. A very big shot we had coming here, and there was no floor. So what did we do? Who came to the rescue? The Sangha. The monks worked all night to about 4 a.m. in the morning before they finished, laying the floor you're sitting on now. So this is holy floor. And you get much better meditation over that side than this. No, it's evened up now. So this is what the monks did. And ready, they managed to get a couple of hours sleep. And then we had a big ceremony the next day. So it's true, we worked really hard doing this, even myself. Even though many people say, Ajahn Brahm, you're too old to work. You shouldn't be climbing up on roofs doing work. But on the teacher's cottage, I was caught climbing on the roof with this monk over here putting on the roof sheets. We built that mostly ourselves. And someone took a photograph of me and put it on the internet. That's really rotten to do things like that. I was busted. I was caught. They said, don't do that again. So I learned my lesson. Next time I go on a roof, to make sure no one's got a camera. So we work very hard here doing all this stuff. And again, it's our joy. And we do this giving, expecting nothing back in return. And that's what we usually get. Nothing. Nothing is so wonderful. I think last December, where did I go? I went to Malaysia to teach a retreat in Penang. Just before I left, this Christian guy came to see me, and he said to me, he was trying to convert me. He said, Ajahn Brahm, nothing is better than God, he said. I said, yes, I agree with you. He said, what? You're a Buddhist? I said, yes, nothing, emptiness, sunyata, is much higher than God. Nothing. And he said, that's not what I meant. So that's what I meant. So that's what you get. If you give expecting nothing back in return, you get nothing. Emptiness, anatta, non-self, nibbana, the great void. That's what you get if you give. The very highest, emptiness. If you don't believe me, have a look at your bank account afterwards. You'll find nothing. See, that's what you get when you give. You get Anyway, next question. How do I know if I have reached any level of jhana? When you don't need to ask questions like this, then you've achieved. How to tackle the problem of impatience? I will answer this question tomorrow. In the meantime, you will learn. Ajahn Brahm, is life about well-being? Thanks. Once there was a donkey who fell in a well. Is that what you meant by well-being? Being in a well? And this is one of my favorite stories. The donkey fell in a well. He was very lucky donkey because there was no water in the bottom of the well. Just like sometimes in Jhana Grove, there's no water in the tanks. Is there water now? There is. Okay, you're very lucky. This monk has been pumping up water for you so you can all have nice showers. So is plenty there now? No. Not a lot. So remember, don't have too many showers. Only shower if you're smelly. So, anyway, the donkey fell in the bottom of a well. It was dry. And so the donkey was very lucky. He never broke a leg or injured himself, but he was stuck down the bottom of a well, and donkeys cannot climb up a well. So what did the donkey do? He shouted as loud as he could, "E-O, E-O, E-O," because that in donkey language means help. E-O. And he was shouting for about an hour before someone heard him. They heard this very strange sound coming from the bottom of a well. If you were from Indonesia or Hong Kong and you heard a strange sound coming from the bottom of a well, you would run away in the opposite direction. You probably think it's handuk. You know handuk? Ghost. What's the Cantonese word for ghost? Wei. Okay. Yeah, that's like way low. That's what they call white people in Cantonese. So you'd think it was a ghost and run the opposite way. But no, this was a farmer. And he looked in the bottom of the well, and there he saw this donkey in the bottom of the well. But this was a very bad man. The farmer was very, very cruel. And so when he saw the donkey stuck at the bottom of the well, he wasn't going to help the donkey at all. Serve you right, you should have been mindful instead of falling into the well. You are a stupid donkey. E-O, E-O, E-O. It doesn't matter, that meant in donkey language, I'm not mindful. I am mindful. Just made a mistake. We all make a mistake. Come and help me. That's what that meant in donkey language. But the farmer said, I'm not going to help you. He said, but this is a dangerous well. Other people might fall in it. So I'm going to fill it up right now with you in the bottom. So I'm going to kill you and fill up the well. That was a very, very bad farmer. And the donkey, ee-oh, 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 which means that's very bad karma, don't do that. But this was a bad farmer, so he got out a spade and started shoveling earth into the well on top of the donkey. Another shovelful of earth on top of the donkey. Ee-oh, ee-oh, you're killing me. But that only made the farmer shovel earth faster into the well. And of course, after a while, the donkey stopped shouting. And the farmer thought, wow, I've buried him already, much faster than I thought. So I can just relax and shovel the earth more slowly. That's what the farmer thought. But that is not what was happening in the bottom of the well. Because the donkey, instead of shouting and complaining, started getting insight. You don't solve problems by shouting and complaining. Use your wisdom. So the donkey, instead of shouting and complaining, contemplated and got insight. The solution was very simple. That's why I'm sitting in the front here, to demonstrate the solution. Another shovelful of earth over the donkey's back. Instead of complaining, the donkey shook it off, trod it in under its feet, and the donkey was another centimeter higher. Another shovelful of dirt, shake it off, stamp it in, another centimeter higher. And all the time, the farmer thought he was burying the donkey deeper and deeper. What was really happening was the donkey shaking off the dirt, stamping it in underneath, was getting a centimeter higher every shovelful. And the farmer was so busy shoveling earth into the well, he never noticed a pair of donkey ears appear above the top of the well. He never saw a full donkey head come up above the well. He never saw, when the donkey was close enough to the well, the donkey could jump out of the well, bite the farmer in the backside, just to show him the law of karma, and run away. That is how the donkey escaped from the bottom of the well, using wisdom instead of complaining. So if there's anything wrong in this retreat, shut up, don't complain, stamp it in, and you're a little bit wiser. So use your wisdom. So that's what I call well-being. Learning how to escape when people criticize you, throw dirt and muck all over you. Don't complain. Just shake it off, stamp it in, and you're always higher. That's well-being. Ajahn Brahm, is loss a failure? It is not a failure at all. I lost my hair. That was a great success. I lost my girlfriend when I was 19. Wow, that was really close. At the time, I was sad. Now I look back, thank you, girlfriend, so much. You freed me from so much suffering. It was very close sometimes. I like telling monks the stories when I was young. Oh, when are my friends, when I was about 19 or 20, you know when your friends start getting married. And so you go to their marriage ceremony. And after their marriage, talking with my friends, they said, who's going to be next to get married? And one of us pointed to one fellow, Jeff, said, oh, Jeff will probably be next, and said, no, he's not going to be next. And they pointed to me and said, me, my lay name was Peter. Peter's going to be next. And the other one said, no one would marry him. And then there was a little girl standing next to me. She whispered in my ear, I would marry you. Wow, I was never been so terrified in my life. I almost ran away. That was a very close. But I managed to escape and become a monk. Don't know what happened to her, poor girl, never mind. Is loss a failure? Not at all. Why are we practicing meditation? To lose our worries. Would you like to have more worries? Or would you like to lose all your worries and be happy? If you want more worries, go and watch the news. Go and see the stock market. Go and watch a soap opera from Korea. See what's going to happen next if you want more worries. But we don't have TV here. We don't concern about the stock market. We're not watching the news. Every now and again I see the news. I've noticed it's always the same story. Only the characters change. Somebody is fighting somebody. Sometimes it used to be Americans in Vietnam. Now it's the people in Middle East. There's always a war somewhere. Or there is a tsunami somewhere. Or there is an earthquake somewhere. Or there is politicians misbehaving somewhere. The news is always the same. Just the people change, that's all. So, you want to know what the news is? Somewhere in the world, a politician's misbehaving, is corrupt. People are killing one another. Hollywood celebrities are getting divorced. That's all what happens. Welcome to the news, which is the same every day. Just the people change, the stories remain the same. So, you're losing or have worry about the news. If you don't check your email, you don't have to worry about the emails either. Why? Because you are not Joko Widodo. You're not the president of Indonesia. You are not that important. You are not the chairman, president of China. What are you worried about? If you don't answer your emails, the stock market in Hong Kong will not suffer. And your family, they're probably so happy you're out of the way for a week. You're not worrying them. They all know you're in good hands with Ajahn Brahm, so they're not worried about you, so why are you worried about them? So just forget about worrying about emails. So you're losing all of your worries. Isn't that what you come here for? So, but people say, oh, but I have to plan this and do that. Yes, I mean, Della and Susan talked to me this afternoon about the next time I go over to Hong Kong, but finish now, okay? No more planning the next trip to Hong Kong. No more planning the next visit, the next tour to Indonesia. This is now, let go of all plans and worries. Because if you are concerned about your future, if your future is important to you, please know where your future is being made. Where is your future being made? Right now. This is the only time you have to do anything about your future. So if you just make peace, enjoy the meditation retreats, and don't worry, your health is going to be so much better. You have peace of heart. You will find that diseases vanish. You will even find that you look younger afterwards. Do you know how old I am? In February 2014, this was over a year ago, I celebrated my 750th birthday. Can you believe that? I'm a monk, a bhikkhu, I cannot lie. I was in Bhutan, and they even got me a cake. Where on it, happy 750th Ajahn Brahm. And I'm not lying to you. That was true. Can you believe that? 750 months since I was born. Not years. I like it as a monk. Why do we have to say 40 years, 60 years, or 20 years? Isn't it nicer to say months? So it was Della's birthday yesterday. How old were you in months? But you're supposed to be the treasurer. I think we need a better treasurer, Susan, if she doesn't know how to multiply 12 by our age. Never mind. So how many decades are you?
One decade.
Only 10 up. So anyway, but truthfully, if you don't worry, you live much longer. So we lose all of our worries. And we lose all of our guilt and anger from the past. It doesn't matter how angry you get at someone who cheated you. Does that stop them, or is it just hurting yourself? You are just hurting yourself when you get angry at who did something to you in the past. It doesn't hurt them, but it hurts you. The same when you feel guilty because something bad you have done. Instead of feeling guilty, in Buddhism, we acknowledge what we've done, we forgive, so no punishment, and we learn. You're allowed to make mistakes. Because it's from making mistakes is where we learn and grow. That's what mistakes are there for. Not to feel guilty about, but to learn and do better next time. So we lose all guilt and anger, all fear and worry. We lose that. So then you're happy. And then in meditation, you start to lose all of your thoughts. They've gone, and you can't find them. Woohoo! You are peaceful and silent. And then, after losing all of your thoughts, then your body starts to vanish. You can't feel all the aches and pains in your body. It's gone. Isn't that wonderful when you have so many sicknesses? You've got gut sickness, you've got heart sickness, you've got headaches, you've got neck aches, you've got shoulder aches, you've got butt aches, you've got aches anywhere. And all that is gone. Ooh, you've lost your body, so you just have your mind. That's what happens in meditation. You lose all perception of the body and you go inside into beautiful mind. When you go in there, you start losing many other things, because the more you lose, the more empty you are, the more free and happy you feel. You're only really losing one thing, and that is dukkha and the self vanishing. Bye-bye, Ajahn Brahm. So I lose myself in meditation. Not there anymore. Now you understand that losing is the path of meditation. Renunciation. Letting go. So losing things is wonderful. So here in Australia, people know that I got great education from a famous university. And what have I ended up as? A monk with no money, no family, no assets, with nothing. And some people say, Ajahn Brahm, with all of that great opportunity, you're now a loser. And when they call me a loser, I say, Sadhu, thank you for that compliment. Because monks and nuns, we're losers. We lost a lot of suffering. And I often say, who was the biggest loser? Biggest Loser is a TV show. Do you have that TV show in Hong Kong, Biggest Loser? Indonesia? In Indonesia, you have Biggest Loser. Who is the biggest loser? The Buddha. Lost everything, renounced, the happiest person in the world. So, being a loser is peaceful, is happy, is wonderful. So I really recommend it. So much so that one of my greatest compliments to you, one of the greatest wishes I have for you is, is for you all to get lost. Just like the Buddha. So you've got nothing left. No possessions, no attachments, no grasping. You've lost everything. Now you are free. I did see you coming in, not the ones from Hong Kong. You came in the middle of the night. But I saw you come in from Indonesia in the big bus with all of your suitcases. Why did you carry so many suitcases? I've seen many birds fly from Indonesia to Perth. I've never seen them carrying any suitcases. I haven't even seen them with a handbag. Birds, they fly just carrying the weight of their wings. Oh, what freedom. So, did any of you lose your baggage coming here? No, oh, that's bad luck. So maybe when you leave, you can leave even lighter than when, so you lose a lot here. Lose a lot of your suffering, of your unhappiness, of your worries, to lose it here. This is where all the defilements and the worries and everything else, you can leave it all in Jhana Grove and go home free like a bird, with no worries, with no concerns. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Very good. So you stay around and listen to a monk like me, and who knows, it might happen. In the world, people accumulate so much stuff. I've been in people's houses, and they are, you can't even walk through the house. There's so much stuff there. There's all these sofas and chairs and benches and big ceramic pots and all sorts of stuff in there. So much that it's so hard to clean up that many of you have to get a maid to clean up because it's too much work for you. Later on, you may, if you make some good karma, be allowed to visit my house, my mansion, where I live in Bodhinyana, my abbot's palace. Some of you have been there before. It's called a cave. I live in a cave with no windows, and it's dark, and it's cool, and you go and see all my possessions in there. And what is there? You can see it later on. That is how to live. It takes 5 minutes to clean up. And not even I do it, someone else does that. So easy to look after. That's how you should live. Sit on the floor, sleep on the floor, eat on the floor. You don't need all these tables and stuff. Well, maybe when you get old you need a chair. But why do we have so much stuff? Maybe, here in Australia, people have so much stuff. They have these places where you can store extra stuff, storage places. And they're very popular because people got so much stuff they won't give it away. How many TVs do people have at home? They got one in the bedroom, one in the dining room, one in the lounge room. Some people have one in the garage as well. You can only watch one TV at a time. Why have people got so many? So instead, see if you can start losing things. You feel so much freer the less you have. Same as people's cars. I've seen people's cars. They are huge cars. Why do you need such a big car for? This is one of the reasons why this tradition is called the small vehicle. Because small vehicles are much easier to find parking for in Hong Kong and Jakarta. Big vehicles, it's impossible to find parking. Small is beautiful. So this is a small vehicle, small house, less possessions. That makes you happier. So we're all here to lose things, to lose your worries, to lose your attachments, to lose everything so you can be free again. Just like when you were first born. Actually, not quite, that's not such a good simile, because when you were born you had no clothes on, so please don't lose your clothes. When I say to let go of attachments, there is a limit. Please be decent in this retreat. Well, that's what we mean. And the way of the world is to get more. And that takes so much hard work and money trying to get more and more and more. You don't need more. We need contentment instead. Happy with what we have. It's good enough. And then when you do that, you lose all of the craving and desires. You can relax and retire and be peaceful, be happy. When you want something more, you can't enjoy what you already have. So on this retreat, see if we can just enjoy what we already have. Beautiful friends, and everybody here has, before you can even come into this place, you have to be vetted by Ajahn Brahm. So you're all really, really good, kind people. No need to be afraid of anything. And of course, I know that some people are always scared because it's dark, of ghosts. There are no ghosts in Jhana Grove because they're not allowed without my permission. And I don't give permission to any ghost to come into this place while I'm here. So you're perfectly, absolutely safe as long as I'm here. But if I go outside, Ooh, who knows? No, you've got other monks here as well, and nuns. So you are perfectly safe. And everybody here is good people. We try and keep our precepts. So I never actually gave you the 8 precepts because you were eating tonight. But you know what they are. No killing, no stealing, no hanky-panky, which is the Australian word for no sex. Okay. So, no, what else is there? No lying. It's actually best if you can keep quiet. That's even better. What we call noble silence. Shh. You don't need to talk to each other. You've been talking all your life. And what does it do? It gets you into trouble. Talking too much. So, shh. See, if you want to be quiet on this retreat, you don't need to talk to people. And if they talk to you, just give them the one finger sign. Not that one finger sign, this one. Shh. And so they can be quiet. So you can just have a nice, peaceful time here. And please also be sensitive to the other people in your cottage. There's 5 other people in your cottage. So yeah, you might like to get up in the middle of the night to make yourself a cup of tea and bang everything around at 2 o'clock in the morning. But that's not nice for other people. I think we do have a few thermoses, have we, somewhere? It's people, thermos flasks. I think there's a couple around somewhere. But if someone really needs a hot drink in the middle of the night, go and boil it up beforehand and put it in the thermos. Or you have some few hot water bottles. Yeah, so put the hot water in the hot water bottle in the middle of the night, pour it out of the hot water bottle, put some coffee in, and it makes... That's what I would do, being a man. But try to be quiet for people. And even no need to bang a door. Even coming in here. You have to practice like a burglar. What's the Indonesian for burglar? Okay, well, you've heard that word. I'm not trying to repeat it. You have to be like a burglar. Burglars, they can go into these rooms. No one hears them go in. No one hears them go out. But meditators, bang, crash, bump. They make so many noises. You'll never survive as a burglar, none of you. So you've got to imagine you're a burglar. Just imagine, when you come into this room, you open the door. No one hears you come in. No one hears you go out. When you go into your cottage, no one hears you open the door. No one hears you close the door. Burglars can do that, and they are not advanced people. So you can as well. So you're quiet for everybody else. No alcohol or non-medicinal drugs. If you're on a prescription, please keep taking it. And from today on, no evening meals, no snacks, no midnight supper. Oh, you survive very well. And what else? No adornments, no makeup. So guys, no makeup. In Australia, guys wear makeup these days. Never know. Anyway, now I've worn makeup twice. TV. The first time was really embarrassing. I was being interviewed on TV years ago. And before they'd put me in front of the camera, they insisted on doing makeup. And my mistake was Ajahn Brahm went with me. And as I was doing the makeup, he was laughing at me all the time. Thank you very much, my friend. It's very embarrassing. You know, first of all, even a man having makeup is embarrassing. A monk is doubly embarrassing. You had to do that for the camera. The sacrifices I make to spread Buddhism. So this is a retreat. No need for makeup, adornments, no entertainment except my evening talks. That's the only entertainment you're allowed. And what else is there? Not luxurious stuff, which we don't have luxurious stuff here. Simple beds, simple seats, that's all you need. So those are the 8 precepts. So easy to do. It means you can trust one another, care for one another, and with that beautiful foundation of virtue, have a wonderful time here. So there we go. That's 9 o'clock. That's the talk for this evening, because I don't want to go much longer, because you must be really tired. And also, you're going to have a bit of a translation beforehand. So, poor Indonesians. Oh, poor Tasvan. Oh. So anyway, so we can finish off now. Because he's going to do a translation, if you want to carry on meditating from Hong Kong, it'd be a nice place actually to meditate in your rooms. I like meditating in the room because it's like a cave. You've got a cushion there, you can get the temperature just right, and have a nice time there. Or actually, for the evenings, is it better to do the translation in the kitchen? Kitchen, yeah, go to the kitchen, yeah. So anyone who wants to carry on meditating can please carry on meditating. Okay, so after the talks, we usually do 3 sadhus, according to our Buddhist tradition. And of course, this is Australia, so we do Ajahn Brahm sadhus. In Hong Kong, you've seen that before? And you've seen that before, Tasvan? Okay, so 3 Ajahn Brahm sadhus. 1, 2, 3. Sadhu! 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 That's much better. I've been to some places, and after I've really given all my energy for a talk, they go, sadhu, sadhu. Oh, it's so depressing. So 3 big sadhus, everyone is happy. Okay, so very good night, everybody. Those from Indonesia, please go to the kitchen so you can give a quick rundown of the talk. And welcome everybody. And for those who want to carry on meditating, you're most welcome. And see you in the morning. There will be the first chanting at, was it 6 o'clock? Yes. 6 o'clock chanting. And if you don't make it for the chanting, 6:45 breakfast. If you don't make it for the breakfast, no, everybody does make it for the breakfast. Okay, good night, everyone. No, just this one I kept. How to deal with the problem of impatience. I should do it tomorrow, because I did say. Can I see? There you go. Oops. Sorry, I've got a microphone on here. Oh boy. I'm free. Very good. That's mine. Oh, can't read.